My video game has a label at the top right saying Noob's Guide. I think it's only good to have it. For me, right? I didn't play it yet. Let's start this shenanigan and see what this is.
Welcome to a Noob's Guide to Isabella von CARSTEIN. This is Isabella von CARSTEIN.
Wait, is it? Are we sure, guys? Is it her? I don't know.
Formerly Isabella von Drac of
Oh. A pretty lady. Oh my goodness. I would like to drink that wine, please.
Sylvania, which is a Dracula reference about as subtle as a cucumber down your pants on prom night. If the fangs, pointed ears, pallid complexion, and a literal cup of blood weren't enough hint, Isabella is a vampire. And a darkly beautiful and blatant play on the Baroness character trope, made famous by G.I. Joe. Part of the von CARSTEIN faction, Isabella is decent in melee.
I thought that she's just standing there and like observing the blood splatters around her, and everybody is fighting while she's just there happily drinking from her cup. I did not realize that she is probably fighting as well.
Provides buffs to vampire heroes and can use spells from the lore of vampires. She's also an FLC lord for Total Warhammer, which is an acronym meaning you're getting her for free.
Oh no, Isabella is a beast. Oh my god.
So don't expect anything but a cool model. Overall, she's an absolute beast. Designed as a perfectly sized push-up bra.
Wait, there is two of them now? Or is it just... No, this is probably a different lord or something. My goodness.
All wired to lift heavy weights on her own or support her husband Vlad's eternal reign of night. Well, almost eternal. 700 years before the game starts, when the Holy Roman Empire of Man was a hot mess of political strife, Isabella von Drac lived a carefree life as the human daughter and
she was just happy
heir of the Mad Count of Romania.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say something. As a horse girl, there is zero reason for her to ride this way because she doesn't have an actual dress. She does have an armor on her legs, so she can ride like a male. She does not have to ride this way. Female were riding this way only because they had dresses and they did not have pants underneath. So it would be very uncomfortable to ride like a male. If you have pants, you can ride normally. Come on. Although she does look delicate, so I guess it makes sense.
I mean, Sylvania. She was beautiful, she was rich, she had huge tracts of land, yet no Sylvanian male would touch her. Like all nobility, Isabella was raised to be vain, immoral, and selfish, but she was born with a rare disability uncommon to the gentry. She was intelligent. To fix this...
no! She was intelligent. What shall we do about this? No! How shall we marry an intelligent woman? That's no, we can't do that.
She was given a classical education befitting a noblewoman, with advanced lessons in embroidery, music, and dying of childbirth before age 20 to produce a male heir. But instead of playing silly buggers, the coldly beautiful Isabella escaped to the forest to pursue falconry, hunting, and not taking lip from inbred knobs, garnering her a label as difficult and likely an earthen structure used to contain water in the Netherlands. Mad Otto refused to give the throne to local rivals and couldn't find any foreigner dim enough to claim it because, as far as most
what happened there with the model? She is kinda next to the horse. Also, it's happy how she runs around, she runs away into the forest just to hunt. She's like, no, I just wanna hunt.
Imperials were concerned, Sylvania was 100 years behind the rest of the world. A half-empty backwater where everyone wore outdated faces and gunpowder was rare enough to be considered sorcery. While actual dark magic was so endemic, Sylvania's main exports were zombies and peasants looking to move anywhere but Sylvania. Somehow it gets worse as Isabella's creepy...
When the gunpowder is rarer than zombies in your land. Lol. Can you imagine every normal person just sells their gunpowder and some weapons and stuff? Sylvania, how about some zombies?
Uncle Leopold kept hinting that a local Sigmarite priest would gladly sanction their marriage so long as everyone got their hammers polished afterwards. Out of options, on his deathbed one midnight dreary, Mad Otto pondered.
Stop following me.
Weary. and swore his daughter would marry a demon from forgotten lore before his
Demon?
brother would inherit the throne forevermore.
Huh?
Thunder crashed, rain was tapping, and soon there came a rapacious rapping upon the castle door. A stranger
Noise.
in a black coach stood at the gates, demanding entry to Castle Drakenhof. He had a strange accent, possibly from Kislev, probably further, but he ordered people around as only a noble could, and thus passed the only requirement for marriage. The ceremony was performed, and the last von Drac died immediately. Vlad von CARSTEIN was the
Immediately.
new Elector
Oops.
Count of Sylvania, and Isabella was the stunned bride of the most ferocious and formidable vampire in Warhammer. You'd think
Nice.
this might have caused marital strife, but Vlad showed astute husbandly acumen by just telling Isabella right off the bat about his condition. Not only was she cool with it, Isabella found it a useful quality in a spouse.
So, Vlad is a husband material now? The heck? Vlad just literally was like, okay, listen here. You're my wife, and this is what I want from you. Isabella, you know what? You're straightforward. I like that.
The next day, her creepy uncle was thrown out of the highest tower in the castle, and all priests mysteriously disappeared from the province.
Mysteriously, guys. They had nothing to do with it. They just, poof.
Isabella still wasn't thrilled with the forced marriage, but the venture had shown that with a certain bit of clever steering, Vlad and she could make a real impact on Sylvania together. And at least he was easy on the eye. The hell? Early Warhammer lore describes
What happened to that man? He apparently was supposed to be pretty. The heck?
Vlad as a towering, dark figure of a nobleman with brooding feral charm, piercing eyes, and a mane of lustrous black hair that would make him the perfect Richard Armitage fan casting.
Oh
I mean,
my
this
gosh.
guy is waiting to hear back about his botched rhinoplasty special for TLC. In lore, vampires
does
were known
not
to
look
pass
very
as
nice.
humans. See? Totally disguised. But
Yeah.
Vlad here looks like he's passed through a dog's anus. And while we're on it, vampire
Well-
accounts in general just jump to the grimdark shark in
It's just sometimes merit changes you, so I think that's what happened here.
8th edition. I mean, Isabella's model is insufferably horny. And if you're thinking that's just a bad paint job, nope. She goes into battle with lacy panties and thigh-high metal boots. Because how else can you keep a 1,000-year-old vampire interested? What started out as a
That's not
marriage
very
of
covering.
convenience turned into them getting along like a house on fire.
Wait a second. If this is her model on the tabletop, why is this her model in game? Why the thigh highs are not thigh highs? I do not like that. Pre-vamp Isabella? Okay, I guess.
The moment Isabella told Vlad to sod off instead of obeying his every whim, he was incurably smitten. She became the only person he trusted, and when his notorious temper boiled over, the only person who could talk him out of murdering everyone in a 5-mile radius. Which is why
That's
it wasn't
pretty good
Vlad's
thing.
charm and seduction that won Isabella over, but his earnest attempts to overcome serious anger issues and become a competent
It's literally Vlad is there murdering people, Isabella in the bag just drinking from her cup being like, I'll allow him 100 more and then tell him that maybe we should retreat and it's fine.
and stable leader anyway. Initially, Vlad thought of his citizens like a farmer does his livestock. You know, annoyingly vocal, uncooked meat. But
Makes
after a
sense.
few pointers from Isabella, for the first time in its history, the laws of Sylvania were enforced, the guilty were punished, and taxes were so low, even libertarians would balk. Of course, some noble families did resist these changes.
Of course.
But when they learned that swearing allegiance to the von Carsteins made you immune to random zombie attacks and midnight disappearances, they fought each other to queue up and swear fealty.
They're like, oh wait, so you will protect us from zombies and we're not gonna disappear in the midnight? You know what, sign me up.
Castles of Sylvania were soon home to immortal nobles who partied all night and slept all day. The exception was Isabella herself, but he knew the true suffering of undeath and loved her too much to change her. It wasn't until she lay dying of a wasting illness that he realized he couldn't carry on without her. 3 days later, Isabella was up and about again, fully
Oh, so she was alive for quite a long time considering Vlad.
recovered. though a bit paler than most remembered. Generations later, Vlad and Isabella still ruled Sylvania, forever young and beautiful. Their peasants didn't seem to notice, as their lives were short, dirty, and diseased, and the nobility had always outlived them anyway. It's no surprise that in Total Warhammer, Vlad and Isabella work together as a team.
Yes,
they
makes
have a
sense.
shared ability called Undying Love, where if one reinforces the other in battle, they get 15 additional melee attack and defense. Isabella
Hey Vlad, I will need your help. I will need your help.
is especially able to support Vlad with her unique Blood Chalice of Bathory legendary item, which lets her restore health and vigor to an ally. I'm sure
An ally. Can it be allies? That would be cool.
you're expecting a pimp cup joke at this point, implying Isabella subsists on a steady diet of virgin blood, Hennessy, and Red Bull, but sadly the crunk era has passed, and even Lil Jon has outgrown this joke.
Aw,
People ask
man.
me all the time, where's your pimp cup? What happened to the pimp cup?
What happened to the pimp cup?
Because I was too drunk all the damn time.
Isabella's plan to
Man.
reshape Sylvania using a super loyal vampire army works in the game as well. Playing as her, you can field the deadly vampire hero Doomstack, as her faction trait gives 25% more damage to all vampire heroes, with 10 extra melee defense and attack. You start with 2 vampire heroes to command, and since you can take Castle Drakenhof early, you can have 6 vampire heroes before turn 10.
6 out of 20, so that's already almost half of your army being heroes. Does having 20 heroes just become the way to go? It kinda sounds cool, but also not the best against horde factions like Skaven probably, although Skaven get scared very easily.
All of whom
Hero
instill
Doomstack,
fear
yes.
and terror into the enemy troops, so that some early game armies will urinate in their Lederhosen and rout before they even reach
Yeah,
their lines.
makes sense. If you have 20 heroes and every single one of them causes terror, yeah, makes sense.
All of this is thanks to the increased hero capacity from Isabella's starting traits and the unique von CARSTEIN building, the Mausoleum of the Mad Count, a fun nod to Isabella's demented father. The rest of her army is a mix of meat shields and chaff of your choice, as at the end of the day, or night in this case, Isabella is about vampires first, and Isabella's campaign is so much fun. Playing as
I
her
love
is
this
even
horse.
the preferred way to
it's so
play as
pretty.
Vlad, as he can be recruited on turn 2, and you don't lose anything since he keeps his army vanguard deployment ability. This duo became so
Useful.
effective at spiking the punch bowl at their key parties that many said the von Carsteins were more firmly in control of Sylvania than the Emperor was of the Empire, and Vlad was such a success as a ruler that maybe he should sit on the imperial throne instead, which
On one hand, yes, he did a great thing. On the other hand, I don't know if more undead armies is a good idea. Although, it would definitely be interesting. Question is how long they could go without leaving people die to replenish. Just a thought. There are other races you can probably raise.
gave them a bit of an idea, and one that ultimately led to their deaths. With their amassed vampiric host, they marched all the way to the gates of Altdorf, unopposed. Any town that surrendered along the way was left alone, and any that opposed were also left alone, in that everyone in the town was murdered and then raised as zombies so that it was now vacant. But in the end, their plan failed, and Vlad was killed in typical vampire fashion by a stake through the heart.
Who killed Vlad the Chad? Who did it? Who did it? How dare they kill Vlad? Not good.
The army crumble around her, Isabella knew Vlad was gone forever. Rather than face eternity without him, she threw herself on a stake as well, ending the only functional and supportive relationship in Warhammer history. But like Diana Ross and the Supremes, now she's back, thanks to unspecified necromancy and more than a bit of unserviced fandom. So if you hear a rapping upon your chamber door and the uncertain rustling of black curtains, have I got the goth fantasy for you to play.
Wait a second, but Vlad is not back?
The power behind the throne.
Vlad is not back? I do not like that.
She's the co-ruler that sits alongside it and shows an interest in her partner's hobbies, becoming the whalebone reinforced corset that supported the greatest
Whalebone? How do you even Okay, that sounds cool. Can I have one, please?
Empire in Warhammer. Show the world the benefit of a classical education by classically beating their backsides without spilling your Chianti. Because if there's one thing the
You have to classically destroy everyone. That works, yes.
Brits love, it's cold-hearted and aloof female leaders wearing dominatrix outfits and reminding them that they have all been very, very naughty. If you enjoyed this
Very naughty.
Noob's Guide, consider joining our Patreon to support the channel. You'll also
Yes,
get a chance to
please.
vote on which guide will be created next and gain the satisfaction of knowing that you only use uBlock because you find the ads annoying. As always, thanks for watching.
Thank you.